What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Heck versus Hell, where the truth we tell. Welcome and welcome back to all you new and veteran listeners. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being a part of the journey. Even if it is your first episode that you're listening to, thank you. Thank you for listening to it anyways, even if your journey is just 15-minute stop, right? Just going in or not even making it past his intro. Regardless of fact, grateful you're here, right? In a godly manner. I'm grateful that this platform is available, that we get to communicate and we get to have these conversations and these profound insights on revelations. Now, I am still a little weird at doing intros, even though I have over 70 episodes just right here on HVH and a couple more intros that I've done for TSMA as True Seekers Mastermind Alliance. If you haven't heard it already, go check it out. But definitely also go check out the episodes with Lex, Real Double Dose channel. Usually they don't have anything before them in terms of HVH, right? Heck versus Hell, True Seekers Mastermind Alliance, nothing like that. So do go check those out. Hopefully, after a few setbacks that have occurred and different situations, well, maybe it just wasn't the time, right? It wasn't the time to get that GCC out yet. I'm not sure if I already exposed the name, if I've already put it out there, but we'll just leave it at GCC for now. And what it is that we're going to go into that. But, hello, welcome, and I guess let's get into it. So, this one is going to be something that I actually had an epiphany about for some reason in a different way. Like, I've always kind of known about it and I've always lingered about it, how it was situational, but I really want to go into it. And it is man's strength. Rather, it was going to be called mental strength deception because it is really a foundational based deception, a structural or profession based deception. For example, there's people out here that are just murderers, like hardcore murderers. It's their profession, it's what they do, or they just love to take lives. And if they are trying to recruit somebody and that somebody can't take a life, they are considered weak. Like they're supposed to be already conditioned like that. Their conscience is supposed to be seared already. And if they can't do it, they're weak. And if they have the courage to do it, it's strength. It's courage and strength. Right? And it happens so many times. It happens in so many different ways and so many different angles. The fallacy of strength, of what a group or organization or even a person qualifies as strength, as mental strength, as strength in the heart, is how deep are your value systems? How deep are your belief systems aligned with who and what they are? And that's really where it comes from, is because, for example, even in that situation, right, there's gangsters that go and they recruit children to do certain things, to do certain actions, but it's that strength that they expect. But to go even further, it's the willpower. The willpower of a person, that's really where the foundation resides from. Well, backwards, that's where the willpower comes from, is from the foundation, right? How far are you willing to go? And how deep do your roots run? How grounded are you? How serious are you about this organization, this position, this title, whatever it may be? Is testing that quote unquote strength. And that's been seen so many times, even whenever it goes to the understanding of what men have known for so long is that vulnerability is a weakness. Who said vulnerability is weakness? And I had this epiphany really because the strongest man I know is Christ. To be able to silently walk to the cross, knowing he's innocent, knowing the lashings and the beatings that were ahead of him and still going into it, knowing that literally the weight of mankind was on his shoulder and chucking it up to do it himself. That is incredible strength. Even just to stay silent through lashings and beatings, because, I mean, even scientifically, it's proven that going and expressing or exclaiming or even saying certain profanity when in the face of pain, it helps alleviate it. It helps your pain tolerance. And he didn't do that. But imagine that. Imagine being on the cross and saying he was so horribly mangled that they couldn't even identify whether he was a man or a woman. How is that not vulnerability? It is such a vulnerable position because he submitted to death. He gave his life up. That's incredible strength. And it really goes to show how strong submission truly is. Because even when it comes to a turning point in your life where you submit to what you've been fighting against, submit to what you were called to be, it's a matter of submission and throwing back what you've known, casting it by the wayside, getting it out of the way. It's comfort. It's comfort that gets in the way. It's what we know. It's what we're used to. Is getting it out of the way, even if it's going and just standing up for yourself. Standing up for yourself in that moment of time, you were submitting to the understanding that you no longer need to be that way. It's almost an oxymoron, right? It's almost ironic because it's a submission to empowerment. And so many people don't understand that, how strong it is to submit. But vulnerability is something beautiful. It is something that I never really understood how it could be considered a weakness because it is really dangerous. It is really dangerous. Even whenever I went because I used to do sales. I used to do sales. I went on, got a sales training program, became a part of it and all this good stuff. But I realized how there were people that would take vulnerability and use it as a weapon. It is something very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Just going and telling a piece of their story in order to get the other person's story and then using that to manipulate their emotions. And that's why people consider vulnerability a weakness. Not because it's dangerous, which it really is, but for the fact that it allows you to be coerced. It allows your mental fortitude to be brought down in a sense. Even whenever it comes to sympathy or empathy, there's another group of people too that will say the same thing, will show no mercy, show no sympathy. It's a weakness because it influences your emotions. So it really takes it back to that willpower. How strong are your foundations? So when these evil people talk about that, how strong are you? Where is your strength at? Or you're weak? It's because they want to see how firm are you in the evil that we do. That's the real deception that comes along with the mental strength deception, is believing that the strength lies in wicked ways, in wicked principalities. It's something I never really fully delve into. when it comes to the understanding of it. I wonder how many of the prophets were considered weak. I wonder how many of us consider even Meshach, Rashach, and Abednego. I probably said it wrong. I know. I probably said it wrong. I can't ever get it. But I wonder how many of us consider them strong because they stood on their firm foundations. So the strength is very correlated to your values. How strong are your values? And whenever you're in the face of someone that's wicked, that wants you to do wicked ways or wants to give you a wicked position, they'll see your strong values as something weak. But imagine the 21 that were beheaded for Christ, that were tortured day and night for, what was it? I can't remember if it was weeks or months on end, until they finally beheaded them because they would not deny Christ. How many of us consider that strong? I would love to go out a martyr, to leave a stain in the legacy of God and show the strength of what it is for someone to be spirit-filled. I would love to go out in a persecution of my God. That is something I aspire. Just like the disciples, I always loved the portion of the disciples of how they went and after they were beat up for preaching Christ, they were over here. Basically, I could just picture them skipping away and, high-fiving each other with bruises and black eyes and bumps on his head. I heard some guys say may nots, right? A knot on your head that may go down and it may not. And just doing that and celebrating that they were worthy of being beat for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. And I just love that so much. That's one of my favorite portions of history, is the fact that they had that mental fortitude. They had that deep principality to say, oh yeah, my God is worth persecution. And persecution is a level of honor. So beautiful. So beautiful. But where does your strength lie? And how strong are your foundations? I want you to really ponder that. But in the meantime, I love you all. Hope you have a blessed one. We'll be releasing more information about more upcoming things very soon. But, as always, we will catch you on the flip side.